Bueno, abajo estaba acabando de cenar. Comiendo un bocadillo. Vamos a seguir un poco con la investigación. La verdad que me dejó pillado el juego de tester. Un rato hasta que me destruye. O me canse, bueno, lo que ocurra primero. Voy a cerrar. Y no empecé. Vale. Vale. A ver. Pues no lo abro desde Steam, porque total, a lo que va, que no va para nada. Bueno, a ver. Ya. Hostia, Pachi. Oh. Poncio da Vicio. El mejor. El mejor investigador que no es romano, pero que tal. Bueno, no sé si es romano, ¿no? No lo sé. Buenas, Axel, ¿qué tal, tío? Puede que sí, puede que no. Vale. Ay. Noches, tío, yo siempre juego de noche. Bueno, entonces juego por la tarde un poco. Normalmente yo. Todo fin de semana. Hoy coincidió. No estaba muy cansados. Para echar siesta ni nada. Vale. Nah, me puse la cámara aún. Pecador.
Citizen.
Rufio. Vas a limpiar,
You look well, my sir. Hello again, my sartorial
¿Este qué?
friend. What is on your mind?
Tío, un vestido, tío.
I hope that our paths
Nah, ya
cross
habrá-
again
no.
soon, my friend.
No sé de momento nada. ¿El arquitecto quién era? Ah, ya.
How'd you do?
A ver, este.
Salve, stranger, and welcome to our idyllic little slice of the Empire. I'm Gracias. Certainly. All I ask is a reasonable
Oh my
price of
god.
1,000 denarii.
Joder, 1000 denarios. Puta madre. Bien, tío, bien. Trabajando y ahora juego muy poco, tío.
That's hardly
Pero
my
bien, ¿tú qué tal?
concern. But if you get a job, work hard, and save your coins, you should be able to afford it within, say, 5 years? Oh, it's perfectly legal. Simply a question of supply and demand, I'm afraid. Take it or leave it. Hear what? You sure you're feeling all right? She claimed the statues were whispering to her. Nobody else could hear it, but I digress. Do you
Ponemos
want
la
me
voz
still
también.
film or not? Well, if you did that, you'd break the golden rule, and we'd share the same fate as the last lot who lived here. Do you think I don't know a bluff when I see one? Nice try.
No, 900
Very
algo.
well. Perhaps I can interest you in something within your budget? You mean, how did I end up here? That is a lengthy tale. All right. Well, you see, I'm in the business of procuring mostly sculptures, vases, the occasional slave, fetch a magnificent prop. Had myself a nice little shop in Rome, just off the Forum. Lots of foot traffic and close to the docks. Good place to be when the fires broke out. See, about 7 months ago, half of Rome caught on fire. Everyone who couldn't get... So I gathered my coins and some priceless vases into a cart and had my most loyal slave girl, pretty young thing named Acantha, push it for me. All the way down to the river, I'm elbowing for a stampede of people, turning back now and then to make sure she hasn't legged it with my valuables. But, to my surprise, we make it. And I see this barge loading up, and it's so full
¿Qué
it's
te pasó,
almost
Ángel?
sinking. But the captain's happy to take my coin. So I start boarding, and then he puts his hand on my chest and he says, "No, too heavy. The cart or the girl." So I did what anyone would have done. The girl? Weren't you listening? All my valuables or the girl? I mean, I can always buy a new slave girl if I still have my money. So I put my hand on the cart, and I guess she realised what was happening because those pretty black eyes of hers go all wide. And in one swift motion, she topples the whole bloody thing into the Tiber. No, I dived in after it, of course. Aren't you paying attention? That was a bloody fortune. Only, I guess I must have hit my head or something because everything went black. When I came to, I'd washed up on the riverbank not far from here with nothing in the world but a single silver coin. I couldn't agree more. I mean, sure, I'd lost a few thousand denarii, but I've already made it back, and this place... Look around you. There must be more gold in here than in the treasury of Rome. If I can just figure out how to get it out of here. I'm afraid not. If you're desperate, I did hear that Aurelia down at the tavern claims to know of a way out, but I'm not sure I trust her. Some people here are a little shady for my liking. It's terrible for inflation is what it is. There's so much gold just lying around, it's practically worthless. At least down here. Of course, I have an idea for generating real wealth, but what I need is a bow. Just a simple composite bow. I've scoured this city from top to bottom with no luck. But if you happen to find one, bring it to me and we'll talk. Oh, well, technically yes, but that just means you'll need to be a little discreet. Thank you, friend. Malleolus.
Malleolus.
Servicios couldn't even keep his daughter safe. What hope does he have of protecting us? Very well.
Me va a joder este, ¿eh? Estoy intentando interferir. Estoy intentando interferir en... Ah, vale. Interferir en las elecciones. Pero no por capricho. Espera un momento. A ver. Joder. Bueno, anda, si te pusieron bien ya es lo que importa. Como te arreglas, macho, que siempre estás jodido, tío. Me carga. Me cago en la puta. No. ¿Eh? No minimiza el juego, ¿no? Madre. Si hago así. A ver. Reproduciendo. Oh, espera. Tengo que hacer una. Dame guardar, que no sé si guarda. A ver, cerrar aquí todas las mierdas que tengo abiertas. Y lo voy a abrir, no lo voy a abrir. Lo voy a abrir desde aquí. No. No es el mejor. ¡No! Ah, no, bien. Bien. Joder. Vale. Ahora ni detecta que está jugando. Forgotten City. Espera, ahora que lo pienso. No, no. Pero el gafo blue. No sé qué hacer. Ay, qué coñazo. Tendrá que. Desio, eres un puto.
Salve, Dooley. How are you doing today?
I'm sad. Am I going to die?
I don't think so, my friend. It's election day today. Perhaps our new magistrate will be kinder than Sentius and let you out.
I hope so. Galerius, what happens when you die? Hello? My name's Dooley. I live here now because I got in trouble and they said they had to lock me up.
Pobre.
I don't know. I don't remember things so good. I think it's just because I was looking for treasure. Yes, but I wasn't. I was just looking. They said I did it more than once, but I can't remember things so good. Then they called me mean names. They called me a liar, Billy. Yes. They said I have to live here now, and gave me this letter.
Ya te veo, Axel Raxel Fernández. ¿O dices el nombre secundario de que usas por ahí? ¿A qué te refieres? Bueno, pues nada. No me lo
What does
creo.
it say? My treasure. My friend Hannibal used to look after me. He said he always would.
Oh, se quedó sin cuidador. Pobrecito Dully. Hay que sacar a Dully de la cárcel.
He said if anything ever happened to him, I had to find something very precious hidden away. He gave me this key and made me promise to keep it safe until I found the treasure. But I couldn't find it. All I remember is he said something about the cisterns. But when I went up to the high one, they put me in here. Now nobody looks after me. Hannibal said Galerius already tried that. What about the rules? I don't like Galerius. He's nice. I like Galerius. He made me a doll and everything. If you help make him magistrate, he can get me out of here, and I can give you the key to my treasure. Hannibal said it was in the cisterns. I can't remember what it was, just that it was way up high.
Tú estás tarao. Lo
very
es la vida real.
precious. Bye bye.
Salve.
Salve. Valerio.
It's you again. Hope you're settling in, friend. Now, what's on your mind?
No. Nada nuevo con Galerio.
See you
Hostia,
around.
si pongo a Galerio de jefe, que siquiera es romano. Bueno, está romanizado. Romanizado romano. No sé yo si es buena idea, ¿eh? Sí, entiendo que sí. Además es granjero. Y está comprometido con la causa. Si voy para allá voy a tener enfrentamiento este.
Whatever's in that great temple up there on the bluff, I bet it's worth
¿Qué
Fresh
pasa,
meat,
eh?
huh?
Ah,
Citizen, we're finally alone. I assume you already know who I
ya estoy
am.
hablando contigo, marica.
We have?
Yes.
If I understand correctly, someone is about to break the golden rule, forcing me to create a portal in time to bring you here. I must have entrusted you with figuring out who the culprit is. Only, I assume we failed, and you had to start over.
Exacto.
Is that about right? Ah, look, it's unfortunate, but all that matters now is that you make use
Eso es
of
algo que estamos haciendo, chavales.
and gathered and do better.
Investigando, ¿eh? A ver.
I assume you sought me out again for a reason. You mean Duilius? Releasing him is out of the question, I'm afraid. That man is a liability we simply cannot afford. Perhaps you're not aware he was caught multiple times, sneaking around in places he should not have been. Look, I can see where you're going with this. You think me cruel. I assure you that is not the case. You may not be aware of this, but it was not so long ago, during the Republic. The law of the 12 tables would have required that he be killed as soon as he was born, owing to his deformities. Here we see to it that he has food, water, and shelter, and most importantly, he is able to continue living. A privilege that would be taken away from all of us, were he to be released and commit the crime of trespass. The man has no self-discipline, poor comprehension of what is going on around him, and is an incorrigible rule breaker. I will not jeopardize the lives of my people so that one man... Thank you.
No, robar no puedo robar.
Keep an eye out for Scintilla, would you?
Pues no sé. Estás tarado, tío.
What is it, citizen?
Si se te ocurren esas cosas. Bueno, anda. Muy bien.
All right.
A ver, la niña esta.
Ugh, I wish Horatius would stop letting barbarians. You know, some people say it's... But what kind of an awful... Did you hear that? What do you have to say for yourself? No response. I'm telling you, this mysterious god of ours has to be asleep on the job. Either that, or, like people are saying, it really is just a children's fable my father is exploiting to frighten us into behaving. I suppose we will. I'm Sentia, eldest daughter of the Magus... Ugh, well...
Espera.
Ugh. I don't... So you'll help me find
No,
her?
tengo todo.
Oh, thank you.
Ah, no,
You should probably take a look through her room. It's the one just by the front door. Maybe you'll find something the rest of us missed. Oh no, that's Scintilla's. The question is, what was it doing in the system?
Vale, pues eso lo encontré de milagro, chaval, ahí. Entrando en el aljibe.
A skeleton? Oh gods. You mean she's... What do you mean? But didn't Domitius say there's some kind of creature down there that killed and ate Hannibal? Could it not have attacked her too?
Ah.
What are you saying? That somebody crept down there and put Scintilla's amulet on another body to make us think she was dead? Why would anyone do such a thing? But who? Who could have a reason to do that? That is an extremely serious act. So this is just... I've heard enough. I won't kindly...
Vale. Es que no tengo ni puta idea de quién es. No te daba opción para cancelar tampoco. Un poco perro. La verdad. Bien, ahí están. Fuimos ahora a dar el paseo y nada, ahora a dormir. Luego vendrán por aquí a hacerme un poco compañía. Pero bien, bien. Progresan adecuadamente.
On your best behavior, I trust?
Estaba aquí el... No sé si bajar. No, no tengo arma.
Fresh meat, huh?
Ay, no, espérate. Dijo...
Ave.
Ave Putin.
On your best behavior, I trust?
Mm. Joder. Nah, no hay nada aquí. Hmm.
What now?
Horacio, ¿cómo iba
All right.
a incriminar a este hombre? Pero es que me toca un poco los cojones.
Let me grieve my sister's death in peace.
Bueno, vale. Ahora ya está enfadada hasta que no haga... Vale, nada. Seguimos.
Hey, you're not thinking about going into the cistern, are you? Without a weapon? Well, it's your funeral. Malleolus isn't receiving visitors at the moment. Listen, I don't abduct women. They come to me. And they... Malleolus, of course. If old man... I think it's gone on long enough. He's going to announce it in his victory. Because if I tell you, and it gets out, it'll give old man said she's got you all...
Vale, otro que se enfadó ya. Voy a mirar a ver si, estando agachado, el esqueleto no nos ataca. Pero... No, el esqueleto no, la... Aníbal debe ser, ¿no? Bueno, no sé. Este que está... Es aquel. Sí, sí nos ataca. La estatua desconchada. Tengo que matarla, pero que no tengo armas todavía. Así que a eso no la puedo ayudar. O sea, hostia. Hostias, no. Espera.
You again.
Nada, este no tiene...
Make sure you stay away from the... Welcome back. Nice to talk to you.
Espera.
Welcome back. Well, Malleolus is... My vote isn't... Nice to talk.
Vale, joder. Tenía ayudándolo al cabrón.
Greetings and salutations.
Vale.
What are you doing in here? Can't you see this woman? She needs the resin of a plant. It's too... No. All right.
Esta señora ya la hice.
How'd you do? Ah, that terrible shame what happened to you. Certainly. Very well. Very well.
Very well, very well.
Shh, I'm hiding. Did you stop him? Well, what are you waiting for?
Bueno, venga, voy a hacerlo otra vez. ¿Por aquí? No es por aquí.
Citizen.
Pasa.
So you survived
por
the
aquí, ¿no?
system.
Si me meto yo, caerá. Sí. Uf. Uf. Creo que haya sido una conversación.
All right. Well, thanks again for helping remove the thorn from the lion's paw.
No me jodas, ¿eh? Ahora no sé lo que...
Citizen.
Vale, da igual. Venga, vamos a por él. Es que significa algo, era por él.
Stop right there. I'm looking for... Thank you for your service to the Empire.
Ah, el templo, ¿no? Vale. Joder. Ya. La piscina arda, ¿eh? Ah, buenísima. No sé quién es ese 15, yo todavía no lo vi. ¿Quién es este?
Isn't the great temple majestic? A new face. Up. Interesting. I'm not sure why you're telling me. Yes, I understand many of our friends were carried here by a river current. What else? That's true. I know I wasn't entirely sure how I wound up here. What else? Yes, I also had such an encounter. It's as I feared. I think I understand what poor Livia has been going through. Let me ask you this. Did you happen to encounter a stranger in the forest before you arrived here? And did you happen to catch her name? I see. And was this Karen, by any chance, wearing a hood? Because I've seen her before.
¿Y ahora capucha?
There's something I think you should see. I think you'd better follow
Uy,
me
a
to
los
the
baños.
baths.
Esto es muy interesante, güey.
But don't follow too closely. We can't have people thinking we're bathing together.
Hello?
Don't you just love springtime?
Cambiando de lado y todo. Cerrar uno.
All right, you're here. You were asking how I knew the young woman you met by the river was wearing a hood. Here, look down at the bottom of the baths. It's a little hard to make out in this light. If only we could see. Oh, what a marvelous lamp. But do you see it? Somebody waking up by a river in a forest to find a hooded figure with a coin. It's just as you described it, only your pronunciation is a little off. The name you heard wasn't Karen. It was C-H-A-R-O-N, as in Charon, the ferryman of the dead. Charon, who, in exchange for the right coin, helps the souls of the newly deceased cross the Styx, the river that separates the land of the living from the land of the dead.
When I dragged you out of the river, I thought you were never gonna wake up. I checked your pockets for ID, but all I found was some loose change. Feels like I've spent my whole life in a dead-end job with an endless commute. Sorry if I sounded cagey, it's just that I don't always get the best reactions when I introduce myself. My name's Karen.
I'm so sorry, my friend. I'm so sorry.
Estamos muertos
I
todos.
take it you know what this means. I'm afraid so. It's all starting to make sense. All these people whose last memory was running from the fires toward the river. It seems none of them escaped with their lives after all. Perhaps we should be
pues
grateful
tan mal, ¿no?
we don't remember their final moments. It also tells us that the Golden Rule is the work of Pluto, the god of the Underworld, and why his epithet has always been Father of Riches. I know it's a lot to take in, and you look as if you have questions, so I'll try to answer them if I can. That was my first thought too. In the old stories, the Underworld was where the souls of the deceased were taken. But it was also possible for the living to reach it without dying, if they were particularly fearless. So I'm afraid I don't know. Oh, I'm sorry. I keep forgetting you're not from here. If you were Roman or even Greek, you would know
O ha ido al
these
colegio.
stories. Each of them is slightly different, whether the storyteller was Plato, Homer, Virgil, or Ovid. But they always involved the souls of the dead meeting a grim ferryman named Charon on the bank of a river. It was said that he'd help the new arrival cross only if they could pay him with a coin, an obol. That's why it was once our custom to bury our loved ones with a coin in their mouths. Charon's obol, we called it. Of course, an obol was a kind of Greek coin, because we inherited this knowledge from the Greeks. To be fair, the ferryman isn't exactly as the poets described, and he, she, they seem to appear to different people in different guises. You say you saw a young woman named Karen with a hood, and I once heard Kabash mention a stranger in a ram headdress named Kerti, and Rufius described meeting a stranger named Kumut Tabal wearing an eagle headdress.
Cada
But
uno
whatever form
tiene
this
un carón.
stranger took, they were always wearing a hood of some sort, and their name always began with a K sound. I suspect the only way you'll solve this riddle is if your paths cross again.
Okay.
Good question. Let's see. In the stories, Charon would always require a coin as payment for passage across the river, but that never made any sense to me. What does an ancient immortal being need with coins? In our case, it seems Charon didn't take the coins we had. He or she merely checked we had one in our possession. So, maybe there's something special about the coins each of us had on us. That might explain why we wound up here, but so many others did not. No. I mean, I had my suspicions, especially after Livia's ramblings, but I would never have figured it out without your help, I promise you. Now that we know where we are, we have to figure out what to do about it, if we don't want to be cast into gold for eternity. We don't have much to go on, except the old stories. I remember 4 in particular about heroes in the Underworld. Hercules, the demigod and son of Jupiter.
Heracles.
Orpheus, a Thracian poet. Sisyphus, a king of Ephyra. And Aeneas, a Trojan hero. Hercules was able to leave the Underworld because he cowed its god with his strength. Sisyphus and Orpheus both relied on their wits instead. They persuaded the goddess of the Underworld, Proserpina, to help them escape. And finally, Aeneas was able to escape with the help of a spirit guide, who led him through a secret gate. So it seems you have 2 options: to confront the god of the Underworld head-on, or find a way to escape with the help of Proserpina or some other guide. All Romans try to avoid saying it, and the reason is quite simple.
Oi.
He might hear us. You may refer to him as Pluto, if you wish, but you'll only be calling attention to yourself. Do so at your own peril.
Plutón, ¿eh?
It's a reasonable question, but the problem is, this place is fairly well designed to keep us here. There's no way to climb up the shaft. And even if you could build a ladder big enough, just trying it would break the golden rule. We know that, thanks to the writings left behind by those who've tried. As I mentioned, both Orpheus and Sisyphus were said to have persuaded Proserpina to help them escape, and Aeneas was guided to the exit. The problem is, those are the stories of a poet, a self-aggrandizing king, and a brawler about their own heroic deeds, so they should be taken with a grain of salt. First, Proserpina. What we do know about her is, well, it's a grim tale. It's said the god of the Underworld abducted and dragged her here against her will, forcing her into marriage. If the stories are true, then I suppose so. The problem is, How do we communicate with her without being noticed by her captor? Leaving that aside for a moment, there is also the possibility of a spirit guide. I don't suppose you've come across one of those in your travels? Truly? And you're only bringing this up now? Then again, I suppose you were worried I'd think you were as mad as Navia. Can you tell me more? Is it the same voice? What kinds of thing does it say? Fascinating. Perhaps she is a benevolent spirit. Or perhaps... Perhaps you're hearing the voice of Proserpina herself. If she has indeed been abducted, it would make sense for her to speak in cryptic whispers to avoid detection. Tell me, has she told you anything that might lead you to the way out? That is strange. There are no rivers here. Let me think on that. Well, as far as I can tell, water flows into the city from an aqueduct into one of two cisterns, the upper cistern. If that's the current she's talking about, then perhaps you need to get into the upper cistern somehow. I vaguely recall wondering what was in there, but the door at the back of the great temple is locked up tight. You might be able to get a key from the magistrate, but if that doesn't work, perhaps you can find another way in. Let me know if you find anything in there. Shh! Is everyone so blunt where you're from? Oh. That option would be the boldest, but also the only way to learn the truth about the Golden Rule, and maybe even put an end to it. As I said, Hercules managed to overpower the god of the Underworld, but he was a demigod. Forgive my candor, but you are no Hercules. Are you telling me that you can? I won't pretend to understand exactly what that means, but if that's true, then perhaps you stand a chance. So, if you want to confront him, I'll help you as much as I can. Who knows? Perhaps your name will be uttered in the same sentence as Hercules one day. But first, you'd need an audience with you-know-who, and for that, you'll need to enter the great temple overlooking the city. The problem is, the door has been sealed shut for as long as I've lived here, and there doesn't even seem to be a keyhole. I suspect the answer lies in the desecrated obelisk in front of it. I'm not sure if you noticed, but there are 4 plaques missing from its base. It looks as though somebody, or a series of somebodies, forcibly removed them, and in doing so, dishonored and angered our divine keeper. If you could recover and replace all 4 of those missing plaques, I imagine he might be willing to receive an audience again. It's the towering stone monument with 4 sides and a pyramid-shaped head that stands before the great temple, a dedication to the god of this place. You'll find them all over Rome, but of course they were looted from Egypt many years ago. It seems one of them made its way here too, although however, this one is unusual in that each of the 4 sides is decorated in a different style. That means you'll need to recover 4 different plaques. Roman, Greek, Egyptian, and a 4th, a mystery plaque. Good question. To answer that, we first need to ask who would have defaced the obelisk in the first place. It would have had the god's name engraved into it, so it may be that whoever desecrated it wanted that name to be forgotten. And there's only one group of people I know of who might want to do that. There's a cult in Rome that often argued there is only one true god. Theirs, of course. They've been known to start fires, as well as deface religious monuments whose existence challenged their beliefs. If I were you, I'd go looking for them. Of course, they've all been in hiding since the fire last year, so finding them won't be easy. But I did hear a rumor they have a secret shrine somewhere in the city. Perhaps, if you find that, you might be able to recover the Roman plaque. I don't know. But perhaps you should begin your search with the local Greek fellow, Georgius. His store is in the forum. Perhaps Kabash, our Egyptian resident, would be able to tell us. Unfortunately, he disappeared weeks ago. But I did hear Aurelia is peddling rumors about him at the tavern, so perhaps you could talk to her, or just take a look in his room. I'm afraid you're on your own with that one, but perhaps the goddess will help guide you to it when the time is right. All right. I would suggest not discussing this with anyone. The best we can do for them is to let them remain oblivious for as long as possible. As for Livia, it seems she's been shouldering the weight of this terrible secret all this time. Perhaps it would comfort her to know she's not alone.
Bueno, me parece bien.
In any case, time is of the essence, so you'd best begin. May Fortuna guide you. Although you may not need her with Proserpina on your side.
¡Qué misterioso! Bueno. Que me mato, tú.
On your best behavior, I
Fortune
trust.
smile on you, brother.
Malleolus for a free
What now?
drink at my tavern.
What business is that of yours? Ah. I see. So, she's dead then. Well, I'm not exactly happy about it. But what would be the point of getting upset? It's not going to bring her back. I'm just thinking of how I'm going to tell her father. I suppose it'll have to be tomorrow. After all, the turmoil of the election is out of the way. Thanks for letting me know. He's one of the better commanders I've ever had, that's for sure. Not that it's any of your unfortunate. See the senti. This place will be different. I suppose it is. All right.
Nada, este no tiene nada de chicha, que yo sepa.
Back
Aurelia.
Couldn't stay away, huh? Not for a few weeks now. Last time I saw him, he was sitting at a table with Georgius, whispering about some job. I remember because they kept looking over their shoulders as if they didn't want anyone else to know. So, naturally, I bothered.
Terrible.
The one word I kept hearing was vanishing, and then, the next day, Kabash just disappeared.
Oh my god.
Coincidence? I think not. All right, see ya.
Don't you just love springtime?
You, Sisyphus, just as the ocean accepts the rivers of all the
Joder, con la
world,
peluquera, ¿viste?
so this place accepts
Ah,
all
pelos.
souls, but it does not notice the crowds that come. Say it. Speak its name. Then it is true. I was right. I thought
Bueno,
I
todavía.
saw it, but when the rest of them could not, I kept thinking I must have gone insane. I had to tell myself it was true over and over again, until I wasn't sure if I was deceiving myself. I must apologize if my words seem cryptic. I'd found comfort in reciting the Metamorphoses by our great poet Ovid. He gives such an uncanny description of this place. I cannot help but wonder if he himself came here. Would you like to hear it? I will do my best to remember the relevant verse. There is a downward path, gloomy with fatal yew trees. It leads through dumb silence to the infernal regions. The sluggish Styx exhales vapor, and by that way, the shadows of the newly dead descend, entombed with full rites, and the ghosts of those, at last, given proper burial. The wide, thorny waste is cold and pallid, and the newly arrived shades are ignorant of the road that leads to the Stygian city, where Black Dis has his cruel palace. As the ocean accepts the rivers of all the world, so this place accepts all the souls, and is never too small for any populace, nor notices the crowds that come. There the bloodless shadows wander without flesh or bone. Some crowd the forum, some the house of the ruler of the depths. Others follow their trades, imitating their previous lives, and still others incur punishment. I hope I have done it justice, and now we share a secret. It's as if you've lifted a great burden from my shoulders. Thank you, friend. I think I should rest.
Perdón, estaba oyendo unos WhatsApp. A ver, la señora esta, pues no, es que como ya sabía que me iba a dar la chapa con la... A ver.
Friend, you have given...
Ah, bueno, no me dice nada más, no me dice nada de quién va a votar. Bueno, es la amiga ahora. Un poema de Galerio. Bueno, 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 bueno. ¿Quién estará escribiendo este Galerio, Vaya, lo que se entera uno leyendo.
Gracias, looking a bit troubled there.
Still no sign of Centilla, and I haven't
Horacio.
slept right in 3 weeks.
Don't be too hard on yourself.
Tener cuidado con lo de robar sin querer.
Nobody saw it coming. Anyway, I
Porque
thought you Stoics
vas
weren't
preso.
supposed to worry about things you can't control.
Yeah, but
Todo lo que es.
keep thinking. What if there
I
is something
love
I can
your
do?
clothes.
What if she's
So
out there somewhere
exotic.
suffering, waiting to be
Back
found?
again.
Sounds like you're
Couldn't
torturing
stay
yourself.
away, huh?
Leave that for the gods. Try to
Ugh,
relax.
let it go. Nothing's
Ah, ya,
going to
hombre.
happen. All right.
Ya volveré, ya volveré.
Suppose you're right.
Ah, it's you again. Hope you're settling in, friend. Now, what's on your mind? I can't see how I could vote for either. Even I could do... Well,
Nah,
all right.
no hay nada nuevo en esa misión. Vamos a ver. Es que esto es mentira, tío. Vale. Joder, pesadilla. ¡Hostia! Oh, hostia, espera, que habrá más dinero, ¿no? No, 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 no. Te lo cojo. ¡Ay! ¡Ay!
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Meca. Vale, está guay esto, ¿eh? Esto está muy guay. Eso mola, tío. Qué cosa más rara y más guay esto, ¿eh? Está guay, está guay porque lo que aparenta... Bueno, a ver cómo acaba, ¿eh? Pero lo que al principio parecía un rollo... Como Assassin's Creed, que eran como viajes ahí al pasado, ¿no? Ahora ya transmutó en un tema ya... En otro tema, vamos. Ya completamente clásico total. Por los 4 costados. La verdad que así me... Sí, yo lo prefiero así. Pero bueno, a ver cómo acaba. No voy a ser que luego haya extraterrestres. Vale.
Salve, friend. Mind telling me who you are and what you're doing with that bow on your back? Oh, sounds serious. I'm listening. Poor Virgil. Poor Rufius too, I guess. Alright, got it. Alright, let me see. Stop Fabia going in, but send the new arrival to the empty shrine. Understood. I'll go, but once I'm done, I'll need you to tell me how you know all of this.
Porque soy un crack, hombre. Investigaciones del pasado, chaval. Desde ahí podemos venir en tirolina. Pero no sé muy bien para qué. Uy. Te matas, no hay... Ajá. El bar otra vez. Esta vez sí, creo.
Ah, you're here. I'm so glad you decided to visit. I'm Aurelia. And I hope I'm not being too forward, but the moment I laid eyes on you, I was intrigued. There's a light in your eyes I've never seen before. A certain learning and sophistication. Oh, I see. You prefer the company of men. Maybe you
Nada,
should
no hay
go and make
manera,
friends
chico, con
with
esta tía.
Virgil instead. I take back what I said. Suddenly, I don't find
Vamos,
you
a
so
escoger lo que
intriguing
escojas, te
anymore.
manda la verga.
Let's
¿Qué
just
cuento?
forget that ever happened, so we can at least do business. So, what brings you to my tavern?
Perra. Vale.
All right, see ya.
Bueno, espera, puedo pedirle rumores.
Back again. Certainly, for 10 denarii. Have you met Livia? She used to do my hair until one day she just snapped. This place has that effect on
Me
people.
metieron ahí de mano en el bolso.
Now she just stands around caked in filth, muttering nonsense to herself. It's a real shame. Now I have to do my own hair. I hear that if Malleolus is elected, he's...
Esto ya lo dijo.
There used to be a midwife here, Naevia, but fortunately for us, Scintilla, the How can we trust him to I heard Dacius has been offering a lot of money for a bone. Of course, have you seen the way Rufius walks around staring at all the statues? He says he's afraid they're going to spring to life. But then, why does he have a collection of them? I hear Galerius has a thing for Equitia, but of course she's a Festal priestess. Why do silly boys always want what they can't have? I hear there are blasphemous cultists. Some even say they... I've already told you everything.
Ya vi la
now,
puerta al
I'm
santuario.
afraid.
Oh, vale. No era para tanto, ¿no?
All right. See ya.
900. Vale.
Cerberus lifts his triple head and lets out his threefold.
¿Dónde está el...?
What are you doing in here? Can't she need... What? Quick, Yulia. Yulia. You need to swallow this.
Julia.
Here, let me help you. Hopefully, in a moment, she should be able to breathe normally. That was extraordinary. How did you know she needed this exact thing? And at this exact moment? Are you some kind
Algo
of
así, chaval.
oracle? Ah, look. If you don't want to tell me, I won't. That was like the gods here. You just saved a person's life, and you should be proud of yourself. She might even be able to thank you herself in a few moments. And maybe she can tell us who poisoned her, and who she meant when she was muttering about that snake's cruel black eyes. In the meantime, I'm happy to help you with whatever it is you need. Sure. What do you... Gladly. Sure. Glad... That's...
Vale. Un poco jodida. Un poco jodida.
May Apollo keep you safe.
Claro que sí, señora.
You there. I'm sorry to trouble you, but I couldn't help but notice that fine bow you're carrying. No idea how you managed to get your hands on it, especially in the light of our dear old magistrate's ban, but I'm impressed. And before you ask, no, I wouldn't dream of trying to buy it from you. I have no use for a wooden bow myself. But I would like to propose a joint business venture of sorts. Tell me, do you have any idea how people here end up as golden statues? And here I was thinking I was the only one to figure it out. In any case, supposedly 1 or 2 of those arrows is enough to turn a full-grown man into gold. Now, of course, that is a travesty, a terrible, horrible waste of human life which has to be stopped. And yet, on the other hand, I can't help but think of a tale told by that Greek fella Aesop, the goose that laid the golden egg. With the ability to transmute organic matter into gold, one could create infinite wealth. Use your imagination. Golden animals, insects, trees and plants. The Midas touch without the drawbacks. We are talking riches beyond imagining. And even if we were to split all those riches between the 2 of us, half of infinite wealth is still infinite. Interested? Look, I might have skimmed over that one, but don't be so pedantic. Are you interested or not? Oh, I'm not suggesting we use such a bow on people. There's no profit in breaking the golden rule. Excellent. So the first question is, how do we get our hands on one of those golden bows? Now, I have a plan, but first, tell me, are you familiar with the story of the goddess Diana? No problem. Allow me to explain. Diana is our goddess of the hunt, the moon, and the underworld, depending on who you ask. The one thing priests and poets agree on is that she carried with her a golden bow and a quiver of golden arrows. And it just so happens that there is a shrine of Diana in this very forum, with a prominent statue of the goddess herself. And would you like to guess what she's holding in her hand? Precisely. I can't tell you how many hours I've spent in that temple staring at it, trying to figure out how to retrieve it without breaking you-know-what. Oh, gods no! If you tried that, we'd all be dead within moments, I'm sure. No, here's what I propose. You give your bow to me, I cover it in a thin layer of gold leaf, and we create a replica of a golden bow. Then you enter the shrine, extinguish the braziers, and under cover of darkness, swap out the fake for the original. It's not theft exactly, it's more of a trade. But make no mistake, this is a dangerous path, and there's no way of knowing where it will lead. But in my experience, all the best adventures begin with a risky first step. Now, you must have questions. Ask away. I'm more of an ideas man, whereas you're obviously the more resourceful and heroic. When Prometheus stole fire from the gods and became a hero to all mankind, do you think he was worried about the danger? Only because he was silly enough to get caught. Because the gods would see you, of course, hence my proposal. So, are you in, partner? Wonderful. Now, if you'll hand over your bow, I can get started. This is a quality. And here we are, a gold leaf bow. Now I've gone and unlocked the Shrine of Diana for you, so as quick as you can, head on inside. It's just at the end of the street on the left. May the gods not watch over you.
Right, well, yeah. Esto
citizen.
No, la hostia, un suey. Me cago en la puta. A ver.
Is that you, partner? Do you have the bow? Wonderful. Just go ahead and slide it under the door for me.
Me
I'll unlock
cago.
it for you. A little bit slow, aren't you? Yes, I locked you in, and until you give me my bow, you're gonna stay in there, like
Puto.
Tantalus in Tartarus. No, technically, I never said that. I said, if we were to split all those riches between the two of us, infinite wealth is still
Puta.
infinite. It's hardly my fault if you can't tell the difference between a hypothetical and a promise, now is it? Oh, I do love a good loophole. Not a very effective threat, is it? See, your first problem is, you're in there, and I'm out here. Your second problem is the golden rule. What are you gonna do? Kill us all? It's an empty threat. The bow, now. And don't even think about giving me the fake one. I'll recognise my own handiwork. I would reconsider my position quickly if I were you. I'm not sure if you noticed, but you're stuck in there with a hornet's nest, and they can be rather aggressive toward intruders. You know, some say it takes 27 hornet stings to kill a man, but I always wondered how anyone could have known that. Let's find out if they were right, shall we?
Uf, genial. Voy a por agua. Agua ahora, a ver. Bueno, perdón. Vamos a ver. Tío, es que a ver. Por algo no me gusta la mierda del ratón pa. Emplumada. Por acá. Dale, dale. Ay, qué asco. Salgas mugrientas. Ya me di cuenta.
My beloved Galatea, I write this so that one day, when we're finally together, you will understand what I've done and why I had to do it. The others will call me mad or a monster, but I don't care what they think. Everything I'm doing here, I'm doing for you. I'll start at the beginning. Soon after my arrival here, as I walked down a corridor lined with golden statues, I thought I heard a whisper behind me. A rasp of air, as if vocal cords of metal strained to say a word or two. I tried to dismiss the idea, tried to concentrate on my work as the city's medic, but that tortured whisper haunted me. Weeks later, in the hallway to the bathhouse, I heard it again and found myself drawn to the statue of a Roman woman wearing a stola. Her face was contorted with anguish and fear, and, disturbingly, it was as if she was looking right at me. As I walked past her, I heard that strained whisper again, and turning back, I discovered that, even though I had moved, she was still looking right into my soul. That was when it dawned on me. This was no statue. This was a woman trapped within that golden prison. Naturally, I told the others, but when I could not reproduce the results of my experiment, they would not believe me. But from that moment on, I knew the full horror of this place. Immobilized within these statues are living human beings. It was that day, my love, that my heart broke.
¡No! Máteme. Hago una hostia puta. Tres minutos. Va.
My beloved Galatea,
Vale. Oh, no, uy, uy, uy. Que casi la monto otra vez. Nada, no perdí nada. Ahí estoy en el palacio. Ah. Pues. Joder, qué susto me dio la puta. Como le digas. Tan mal. Ahora.
You're not supposed to be here.
Joder, cabrón. Muevas. Nada. Joder. Vale. Ah. Aquí podemos llegar. mal rollo los hijos de puta. No le doy, tío. Escenarios ricos para mí. Vale. Vaya... Jodidos que están los prohibitivos. No. Toma. Patas ninja de todas, Pero sí, el palacio ahora. Aquí no robar. Ya lo he visto. Uy, uy.
My beloved Galatea, after I learned the terrible truth about the golden statues, I wandered the city as if in a nightmare. What must life be like for these poor souls, entombed in gold, but kept alive somehow? Trapped in their own personal Tartarus, consigned to eternal torment, too horrific for any sane mind to comprehend. I tried to offer them what small mercies I could. I began to talk to them, to keep them company. I'd imagine backstories for them, give them names, and tell them of the world, of the histories and stories I'd learned as a child. As the others became more concerned by my charity, I sought solitude from them, preferring the company of my tormented charges. Discovering a way into the abandoned palace, I began to spend my days walking its halls and sharing with its occupants ancient tales, my mind turning to those of Apollo and Daphne, Perseus and Medusa, and Pygmalion and Galatea. Pygmalion, the sculptor who fell in love with a beautiful statue, and who, praying to Aphrodite for aid, discovered that his beloved Galatea had come to life. It was then that I heard you whisper to me, Galatea. Forgive me. I know that is not your real name, just one I have borrowed from a story. But when I turned to look at you, I saw the most exquisitely beautiful woman I have ever known. Your face, forever frozen in a look of moving sadness. Our meeting gave me new purpose, to free you from your golden prison, so that I might one day hear you speak, not just whisper, your true name to me. So I gathered tools for the long and difficult task ahead, barred the doors to this place, and set to work.
¿Ese es por donde había que ir? Se veía muy bien, ¿eh? Era por aquí. Dinerito. Pues puta. Está todo lo bloqueado. No sé por qué atacan esas. A fuego. A fuego, chaval. No sé, esta señora.
Galatea, my attempts at freeing these souls from their golden prisons have not been going to plan. My first charge was a Greek woman who I called Iodame after the Athenian turned to stone by Medusa. Drilling through the gold that encased her, I was vindicated by the discovery that beneath half an inch of gold, which is so rigid it must be some kind of alloy, was living flesh. Unfortunately, this golden alloy seems to have fused with her skin, so removing it exposed the sinew and muscle beneath and appeared to cause her great pain. At first, I braced myself, expecting that inflicting such pain would break the golden rule, and yet, somehow, it did not. It seems whichever god is responsible for imprisoning these poor souls does not care about their suffering at all.
Vaya liada. Puto. Oh. Ah, ahí. De nada. Ya. Vale, tan cerca, tío. Me da por culo, Mira. A este le arrancaron la capa, pero vamos, a tiras, con la piel y todo. Joder. Por quitarle el oro, Ay, se pasó. La tía esta. Pobre. Ya, está loca, loca, La Navidad bebía esta. Al cerrarla, la prueba.
And you must be the wretched snake who broke into my palace and disturbed my experiments. And worst of all, look at what you made me do to her. This never would have happened if you just stayed away. You're going to pay for that.
Tijeras esas rudimentarias.
And you think I care about that? I don't care what happens to me, as long as you get what you deserve.
Bueno.
Liar! I locked and barred the gate. I left a message warning you all to leave me alone. I just wanted to do my experiments in peace. For her. And now look at her. You made me turn the most beautiful woman I've ever seen into this. Look at her. She's in agony. All I wanted was to spend my last moments with her. To see her beautiful face. To hear her speak freely. Instead of in those cryptic whispers. But as soon as I began my work, she stopped whispering to me. And now I discover she started whispering to you instead. What's so special about you? What do you mean, the same voice? Yes. I remember when they used to whisper to me. They did sound similar. I just thought it was because all voices sound the same when they whisper. But now that I think about it, they were all benevolent and seemed to share a common knowledge. But if these bodies are mere conduits for that one voice, then This body is nobody. And everything I've done here was...
Wait, I see what you're doing. You're trying to steal her away from me.
Were you planning to wait until I'd done all the hard work, then swoop in? Is that it? Liar! You tried to steal her away from me, and now look what you made me do. Give me one good reason why I shouldn't peel you too. What? What are you talking about? Wait. So you're saying you weren't coming for us? So I did all this. I ruined her. For nothing. What have I done? Oh God, I feel sick. I can't bear the thought of her being like this. And in so much pain. It's the air coming into contact with her flesh. It's agonizing for them. But the only way to fix it will be to break the golden rule and let it run its course. At least that way she'd be golden again, and we'd be together. All it would take is one little cut. It's too late. There's nothing you can do. I have to do this. I'm sorry. What? How? Really? I'm not sure I believe you. But if you can undo this mess, I'll give you the key to my old medical chest in the Shrine of Apollo. I imagine it would help Lucretia ease the suffering of those still in the city. But if you're lying to me, I'll break the golden rule and kill you and everyone else in this city. Understood?
Galatea no dice nada.
You did it. You took away her pain. I don't know what to say. Thank you.
Buenas, Anticos. No, que va, tío. Hoy no voy a jugar. Empezaste a jugar al jueguito este, tío. Me estaré echando un rato. Y poco más, tío. Que mañana tengo que comer con mis padres.
What can be done for them? I've tried everything I can. I fear the only one capable of releasing them properly is whichever god doomed them in the first place. In any case, I must honor our bargain. Here's the key I promised you. It opens a chest in the Shrine of Apollo. I believe there are a few things in there which may be useful to Lucretia.
Lucretia. Sí, tío.
Now, please leave.
Pues ahí antes de
The door
cenar.
here leads out
También,
into the palace balcony.
como comí en casa hoy,
You should be able to make your way down from there.
estaba ahí, aquí a jugar a algo. Pero de aventura y eso, tal. Y miré este por ahí.
And never return.
Los que tenía instalados, vaya. Y nada, me puse con él, tío. La verdad que me enganchó un poquito, ¿eh? Y ya después de cenar, y nada, pues para echarme la tan más temprano, tío. ¿Cuánto llevo ahora? Bueno, llevo 2 horitas. ¿Qué hora es? Las 2. Bueno, si quieres, espérate un momento. Luego también jugando un rato, tío. Y yo me tampoco para hacer el vídeo no muy largo. Venga, pues espérate a ver si podemos engañar a... Bueno, señores, corto aquí el directo. Voy a ver si puedo organizar otra cosa con este chaval. Así que nada, ya si quieres todo en otro momento. Bye bye, hasta otro rato.